Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Too often we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in our amazing universe. And welcome to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're going to be talking about today on our episode about change. And I really love the idea that we can embrace change with ease. And we have to realize that in life, the only constant that there is change. We are pretty much lying to ourselves when we think we could keep things stuck as they are and keep things in the status quo. That's the illusion, because when we are having an experience here on planet Earth, we come here to learn, and being in the flux of change is how we learn. It may be comfortable, and the majority of the time it may not be comfortable, but it's change. I love the quote that the only thing certain in life is death and taxes. I want to change that. The only thing that's certain in life is death, taxes, and uncertainty. I could be certain that that's certain. Uncertainty is certain. So, how many of us have a tendency to want things to stay the same so we could just maybe even take a reprieve and just exhale, because it seems like in our world so much is happening so rapidly and so fast. Just look at what's going on in our world. Look at, the political situation here in the United States. Look at just what's happening in the world, but maybe what's even happening in the confines of your home, the four walls that you live in, but also what is happening within you as well. Lots of changes are happening all the time. It's when we start getting dug in, get defiant or dig in our heels. Anybody out there have problems with their feet, particularly their heels? Look at where you are in your life as far as being more flexible and not being so resistant and dug in to your beliefs or what you feel is the absolute right thing to do. So I'm laughing here because it's like being in the flux of change is how we learn, and Christine is laughing in the background here. So yeah, it's true. The only constant in life is change, and I know for me, once I was able to embrace that, that kind of took the pressure off, if you want to call it that, of having to have everything nicely boxed up in little packages and on shelves, and they were in their little container and they never wanted to talk to anything else on the shelf. Well, that's just not how it happens. The unfortunate part is that things are so interconnected in our world. I give the description of like a matrix. Things are connected in ways you have no idea. Not only what you can see, it's what you can't see, like the beliefs, the thoughts, what you say to yourself, what you project out, your beliefs, your emotions, whether or not you've experienced them, in addition to the physical stuff, also your ancestral stuff that comes through your lineage, but also the dimensional stuff that is happening in this present moment, but in other present moments in different dimensions. I know that's a little stretch for some people, but that might be another topic for another show at another time. When we are living our lives here on earth and we're trying to make sense of it, if you look at your life as a tapestry, okay? A tapestry is this beautiful woven um, material, and it has lots of different fibers, and maybe everything that we experience is a separate fiber, a different color, but yet when we blend all those things together and weave them together, there's this beautiful um, picture that comes. And maybe it's abstract, maybe it's a actually, Currier knives, or you could see an actual picture, but usually it's an abstraction of colors and different flavors. And this is how we develop ourselves, but also we are the sum total pieces of our complete experience that we have, in this lifetime, but if you believe in past lifetimes, of our previous lifetimes and future lifetimes as well. So, how do we maneuver through, change and being okay with it and being comfortable? We need to develop having some more grace and self compassion in our world. But also through that, we stretch our resilience muscle and allows us to be able to, I want to say, maneuver through things. I don't want to say cope, but it's about knowing that no matter what's going to come about, you got this handled, and you're going to be okay no matter what, no matter where our mind goes down the fear tunnel, or if you choose to look at something different, where the possibilities are. You're going to be okay no matter what happens. And sometimes that's a comfort within itself. So we want to move beyond surviving to thriving with this. So when we talk about resilience and the importance of being flexible, being recognizing that change is going to happen no matter what, because nothing stays the same. You could look at what's happened this last day of your life, last week, last month. You're probably a completely different person based on the experiences you've had day to day, because we are in moment to moment existence right now. It's not about projecting into the future or living in the past. When you're able to get to the point where you are in the present moment, that means you have to show up for yourself in your body. You need to be in your body. This is where you have the ultimate, I'm going to say, control, or maybe the ability to create more certainty for yourself in really uncertain times, especially when there's lots of changes going on, and just being um, able to maneuver yourself down the river of life and just allow yourself to be the vessel that you're traveling in, and just float down the river instead of trying to paddle and go in the opposite direction and push yourself backwards and trying to control things. Just allowing yourself to grace, to just allow yourself to flow and be with that. Yes, it's giving up and relinquishing our control, but it's about the ego giving up the control and the power, so that we could start to interact with the ego in a different way. It's about blending the ego with the non ego parts of ourselves, maybe the id, and to allow ourselves to play nicely in the sandbox with those parts together. So you are working together instead of fighting each other. And I think what we're witnessing in the world right now is so much fighting. You look at dichotomies and stuff, and right now our world is polarized. But yet if you take that a step closer to home within yourselves, you're really having that war within yourself, even though you could see it outside, because our mind and our body are just not playing nicely together in the sandbox. One is telling the other one it's wrong, and the other one's trying to embrace the other one and play nicely, but it's not happening. So I'm not saying about compromising, it's about merging the two and marrying the two concepts together. And, how do you do that? People wonder. So I find what's helpful is just imagining that, your mind is up here, of course, and your body is down here, your heart space. When you're able to draw the infinity sign, like, the infinity sign is the symbol of eight, okay? It looks like the number eight. And notice that when you have an infinity sign, it's constantly in motion, okay? So I invite you to make one of the poles your mind, have it go through your throat where the connection is, and the other part going in through your heart. So when you're wanting to merge the two together and connect them, because we need both. It's not a this or that, it's melding them together so they are married to each other and there's an ebb and flow together. And we're talking about a happy marriage, not a dysfunctional, you know, hateful marriage or whatever. We're talking about let's all play nicely in the sandbox together and get along and just attempt to see where we could go with that, because when we are able to start with ourselves first and work with this concept within ourselves, we're able to affect the greater good. And how we do that is just imagine that collective consciousness is a huge body of water, an ocean, a lake. And just imagine you making the shifts within yourself. You're the drop, okay? And humanity, every person who is alive is part of this collective consciousness. When even one person makes a change and drops that into the pool of collective consciousness, just like any body of water, a water drop falls in and it ripples out. So it affects the whole body of water. It's really that simple. We have control in our lives. We can make a difference. We have been led to believe that, I'm just one person. I can't make a difference. Yes, you can. It's about you doing your work within yourself so you become more balanced and aligned. And it's the essence of who you are is going to ripple out into the world. So remember, infinity sign, eight, figure of eight, okay? Constantly in motion, blending the two things, the mind and the body together. When you're able to do that, believe me, you're going to be more present in your physical body than you were even a moment before. And when you're more present in your physical body, you are what do we call right here, right now, and you are able to make a make a choice based on moment to moment possibilities. Yes, being reactive is a choice, but being reactive takes you out of the flow of being in the present moment and pops you up into the pole of your head where you're trying to play, if you're going to react, it's like whack-a-mole at the fair, trying to control everything. This is not what we're about right now. We're about pulling things together in a way where you're able to observe and make a different choice. The awareness component, which is very important right now, being more aware of why we do and how we are acting and how we can make things different. So we're getting ready to go on our first break, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. And I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're talking about embracing change with ease today. So come back and join us for more after our break.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
And welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, and I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we are talking about embracing change today with ease. And before we, had our break, we were talking about the whole inevitability of change. It's here, it's to stay, and sometimes we have a tendency to get stuck in place and not want to move. And guess what? The change is going to happen no matter what. You could either go kicking or screaming, or you could just gracefully allow yourself to flow with it. So, we are going to talk a little bit more about cultivating a growth mindset. And with that comes the awareness and being aware where you are in charge, and it's about making a choice, but being aware of the choice that you're making. You could either go down the rabbit hole of being in react mode, or even, I'm going to say, the rabbit hole of resistance. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in this segment. Yet, I feel the most important thing we could do as individuals is just be teachable and just to allow ourselves to learn, because we are here at the University of Earth. We've all signed up to come here and get our PhDs in being human, and this is part of the human experience. You are learning, and you're learning what's working and what's not working for you if you choose to be aware enough to be aware. So when we practice mindfulness and acceptance, we're teachable. We are allowing ourselves the grace and the gifts to learn, and we're learning probably boatloads about ourselves, or uncovering those unconscious parts of ourselves that have been nicely tucked away in the recesses of our mind that are wanting to be reintroduced to us so that we could become more complete and whole within ourselves. It's like we are our soul, and we are this beautiful diamond with multiple facets. And what happens in life is that sometimes a situation will happen and a piece of our soul gets fragmented off of this beautiful diamond and gets lost and trapped in another time and place. when that happens, sometimes it's an unconscious thing that we're not aware that this has happened, but it's like dragging around a ball and a chain energetically, because this is still running the show for you on an unconscious level. When you are able to embrace change, you have a tendency to be able to access those deeper unconscious parts of yourself, which is going to allow them to move from unconsciousness to consciousness, so you could gain the wisdom from that as it's coming out and going to where it needs to go next energetically. And remember this too, everything is energy. So those thoughts, those patterns, those beliefs are energy. When they're unconscious, it's energetic, I call it debris or unconsciousness that is running the show. And you may not be aware of what this is, but yet you're finding it kind of interesting that, why do I keep having this recurrence or this repeating pattern in my life? What is the lesson I need to learn? When you're able to sit with that and mull it over without judging or criticizing it, just saying, show me what you are. It's like, show me who you are. It's like, show yourself, sometimes just by saying that, you will get a deeper glimpse into what is, I want to say, hidden from your reality. And maybe it's time for it to become unhidden and moving into your reality, so you could make peace with that and come into better alignment with who you are. It's about also being able to see yourself in the light of positivity. And I'm not saying toxic positivity, it's about offering hope to yourself, because when we lack hope, we actually have lost it, basically. Having hope, I also say having a sense of humor too. When you lose both those, the gig is up, folks. It's important to have very good doses of that in your life, and not to, I want to say, snuff out all the negativity with positivity. That's toxic positivity, meaning that you're not even willing to look at the negative stuff. It's like you're going to positive it out of your life. Sometimes you need to have that balance. Remember, we talked about the infinity sign, the mind and the body. It's also looking at what is seen and unseen and merging the two together so they come to neutrality. It's also about the negative and the positive. It's just experiencing both so you have a well-rounded, and whatever needs to be shifted is going to be shifted appropriately and not lopsided with just doing the positive stuff and not acknowledging the negative stuff. So toxic positivity is something that we do not want to promote, because we need to look at all the aspects. Even though we label them as positive and negative, they're all necessary for us to grow and for us to change, and how we embrace change as well. Also surround yourself with, a community. Like-minded people are wonderful, and people who share your vision and resonate with what you're going through, or maybe they're going through the same things. The community is so important right now. And just remember too that it's always about trusting your instincts and leaning into where you feel like you're drawn to. Sometimes many people have to speak about what they're experiencing, and just allowing yourself to be heard by somebody else can be healing and therapeutic. And, surround yourself with people who are going to be encouraging and wanting to support you and wanting to see you do well. This is essential. And these are things we should be doing for other people as well. I want to talk a little bit about resistance, and resistance is like the obstacle to change. Um, it's a protective, I want to say, response and a mechanism, and so that we could have some comfort and avoid uncertainty. It's like we're trying to control things. Um, Resistance also, you know, when things keep happening and patterns keep happening, and you're wondering why this keeps happening, and you're so dug in that, you're just like a defiant little toddler going, stamping your feet. It's like, I'm so over this. My big thing is like when things continue to happen, it's just like, I'm so effing over this. It's like, I'm done, and it's like, for me and for the clients that I've worked with and helped over the years, it's like I could always tell when a big shift is going to happen, because it's like, this is like when you've reached your wall of resistance, and it's like, next thing you know, it comes crumbling down and a huge breakthrough is made. So to me, when that happens, we're on the cusp of something. And I encourage people just to be with whatever they're experiencing, because the breakthrough is coming sooner than they could believe. Um, Resistance, let's talk about why resistance comes into place. Sometimes it's the fear of the unknown. Many times we resist because it's fear. We are afraid something bad is going to happen, and usually the things that we fear the most never even come to fruition, but yet we contribute so much energy to that, I'm going to say, emotion, that it's exhaustive. And a lot of times when we are on the other side of it, we're like, well, that was silly. Why did I, jump into fear and stuff like that? Well, because it's a coping mechanism. It's a way to try to keep the ego, remember the ego in the body, trying to keep the ego safe so it doesn't die. Another way resistance shows up is like habitual patterns. It's almost like when you have, people who might have OCD, or they have addictions. Usually they do things in a certain way, so the patterns remain the same, so they can control that. And so with that comes a lot of resistance and discomfort, um, because they're trying to keep things at bay. And what I find interesting is you can really tell when somebody's really out of control. It's like they just crank up that resistance even more, and they're really trying to make sure that everything stays status quo when all hell is breaking loose in their world. So instead of just surrendering to the change or what is happening in their world, they're trying to control it and keep it at bay. We talked about the ego and how the ego really contributes to this, and as far as it wanting to identify itself and to live on and be in control and in charge, where we really need to play nicely. The ego needs to learn how to play nicely in the sandbox with our body, mind, and soul. So when we overcome resistance, some things that I find that are really important to remember, we need to accept it. Okay, we are all resistant beings. I feel that we are on a continuum of resistance. Either you're very resistant, or you have less resistance. We all fall on that continuum, and depending on what our life's experiences have been, contributes to the extent of resistance that we have. Some people are really dug in. If you have, I just found this out, if you have like feet issues or heel spurs, what's the ultimate about digging in? Heel spurs, it's like digging in your heels. So yeah, energetically you're resistant. So something to keep in mind. And, important to, practice mindfulness and stuff like that. And, things there's a lot of support out for you in the world. Sometimes we feel like we're alone, but you're never alone. So we're getting ready for our next break already. I can't believe it. This episode is just going by so lickety-split quick. So you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're on the Inspired Choices Network, and we're talking about embracing change with ease. So stay tuned and join us when we come back, and we're going to go into a meditation to tie it all together.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, and I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we've been talking about embracing change with ease today on our show. And before our breaks, we talked about change and how challenging that might be for some people, and some of the things that we could do in integrating your mind and your body together with that infinity sign, the figure of 8. And we also talked about resistance, because there's a lot of resistance in our world, and a lot of that resistance comes from within ourselves at all. We just have had lifetimes of experiences, and sometimes you reach your wall saying, that's it, I've had enough, I'm over this. Sound familiar? Yeah, I know. I'm talking to my peeps. What you got to remember is this: when you are ready to make a big change, the universe works with you. Sometimes you just have to get out of your own way and just allow the changes to happen. I'm not saying surrender to it, but just allow yourself to receive what the universe has for you. So I want to do a brief infomercial before we go into our guided meditation. You probably heard a lot in between the episodes of this program called I'm Awake, Now What? And I want to talk to you about it just in a little more detail. What it's really about is this is for people who have woken up and life had maybe been working for you, and then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from underneath you, and what had been working no longer is. And you're like, now what? It's just like, okay, you realize that you need to come within yourself and start your spiritual journey. It's called a spiritual awakening. And this is a monthly membership. And myself and Cozy Stankaitis, a colleague of mine, we decided that we need to support people, because what's important is that when we had our awakening, there were no resources. And right now, many of us are awoken. Many are waking up, and some people are still asleep and probably will remain that way. But this is for people who are waking up and they feel lost, and they need to, they need resources, tools, healing, community, and also information. And this is a platform that's going to allow it. It's a monthly membership. I invite you to go to my website, drdoloresfazzino.com, and explore and see if this is the right fit for you. Because if you're on your journey, I will guarantee that this is going to be assistive for you. We meet once a month on a Zoom call, and everything is going to be available with resources. And please join us. Or if you know somebody who is awakening too, invite them to come and play with us as well. So let's segment into a guided meditation. And this guided meditation is about embracing change, appropriate for, for our episode today. So I invite you to get comfortable and find a comfortable position. You could either sit down or lie down. And just lie down or sit down in a way that allows your body to relax. And when you're ready, just close your eyes gently. And we're going to just focus on our breathing. So I invite you to take a few deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Hold that breath for a moment. And now exhale slowly through your mouth. And repeat that for another 2 times. And just inhale slowly through your nose, filling your lungs completely. Hold it for a moment. And now exhale slowly through your mouth. And one more time, we're going to do that. Because as we do that and breathe, we're actually getting deeper into our physical body. And this is allowing your body to relax with every breath that you take. So just allow yourself to focus on your breath. And as you continue to breathe, just notice the sensations of your breath. Feel the air entering your nostrils. It may be cool air or warm air wherever you are. And feel the air leaving your mouth, and maybe it's warm. And just let your mind focus slowly and solely on the rhythm of your breath. Now imagine a calm, peaceful place. Maybe picture a place that brings you feelings of peace and tranquility. It may be a beach, a forest, mountaintop, or wherever you feel peace and tranquility. When you're there, visualize the sights, hear the sounds, and feel the sensations of this place in detail. Allow all your senses to participate. As you imagine this peaceful place, consider how change is a natural part of life, like the ebb and flow of the tides or the changing seasons. Imagine change as a gentle current that carries you forward and towards new experiences and opportunities. I invite you to embrace this change. Now let go of resistance. Notice any thoughts or feelings of resistance to change that may arise. They may just come out of nowhere. And acknowledge these thoughts without judgment or criticism. Allow them to be there as they are. Then imagine gently releasing them, like letting go of a balloon on a string. Focus on acceptance as you let go of that balloon instead of resisting change, hanging on to that string. And focus on accepting it as a natural part of life. Imagine yourself embracing change with open arms, welcoming the new experiences and opportunities it brings forth. Continue to breathe deeply. And as you continue to breathe, allow yourself to feel a sense of peace and acceptance. Trust that you are capable of navigating change with ease. And when you're ready, I invite you to gently open your eyes. Take a few moments to ground yourself before returning to your day. Wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers. And when you're ready, just come back. Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this meditation. That's just going to give you a taste of allowing yourself the gift of embracing change. So we're going to go to our next break, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And when we come back, we'll wrap it up for the episode.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, and I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And this episode of the Dr. Dolores Show, we've been talking about embracing change with ease. So many of us have a tendency to be resistive to change, but also how do we embark on being less resistant and actually embracing change, which is the new certainty of life, especially in our world today. So some of the takeaways I want to talk about from today's episode, recognize that change is inevitable. It's like the new constant in life. Like I said earlier, the only thing constant in life is death, taxes, and I'm going to say change. And uncertainty is the new certainty. So when you're able to look at things from that perspective and have like a sense of humor about it, you win. Cultivate a growth mindset. Be teachable. Don't be so dug in and stuck in your ways and trying to control things, because when we are trying to be a control freak or a control fiend, we actually pull ourselves out of the flow of the life that the universe wants us to be partaking in. The universe knows more about what we need than we know, and sometimes our ego gets in the way. So learn how to tame the ego or allow it to play nicely in the sandbox with the rest of your body, mind, and soul. And I gave you a little exercise about the figure of 8, the infinity sign, the head, the neck, and the heart. So the two lobes are the heart and the head, and the crossover sign is in where the two intersect is the neck. And just visualize that going back and forth, because an infinity sign is constantly in motion. And when you do that and the frequency of that continues to escalate, you're going to blend the two together. Practice mindfulness and acceptance. We talk a lot about mindfulness on the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm going to also add practice mindfulness, acceptance, and awareness. When you're aware, this is where your power comes in and you could actually make a different choice. Sometimes we have a tendency to react, and that's a choice in itself, but sometimes that's an unconscious drive. When we're unaware that we're reacting. When you have more awareness, you can make a more grounded choice on how you want to respond to whatever's going on. Visualize positive outcomes, because when we put our energy, wherever we put our energy, we have a tendency to lean in and create that. So I'm not saying bypass the negativity, but focus on whatever's going on, a positive outcome of the situation. Because sometimes things work out better than you could imagine, even though it feels like you're going through the muck as you go through it. And it might be the best thing that could have happened to you. build a support system, have some community, and surround yourself with people who are going to love, value, and appreciate you, because you're worth it. And those are your sovereign rights, and these are things that are important to remember. So, as we embark on our journey of embracing change with ease, remember that it's a process, not a destination. There's going to be challenges and bumps in the road along the way. These are growth opportunities and possibilities and opportunities for us to step out of our own way, be aware, and utilize tools that we've learned so we could navigate through these hurdles with a lot more grace and resistance. I want to leave you with a quote by Henry Ford. Change is the law of life, and those who look only to the past or the future will miss the present. This guy was very insightful, because if you're not in the present moment, you're going to miss out on life. So may these words inspire and guide you as you continue to grow and evolve. So next week on the Dr. Dolores Show, we're talking about confidence, and we called this episode Confidence Catalyst. And I just have a question for everybody. Have you ever felt like you're holding yourself back? Sometimes it's about igniting that inner spark. That's the catalyst. So next week, we're going to talk more about that, so you could focus on exercising your confidence muscle with tools and techniques and a meditation as well. So just know that as you're maneuvering through life, if you ever need any assistance, reach out to me. I could help you with whatever you're experiencing. Sometimes you just need some clarity on something, and I could offer that to you. So just reach out to me. You could reach out to me at Dolores@drdoloresfazzino.com. Also, for those people who have a hard time staying in the present moment, go to my website. There's a free downloadable guided meditation called Being in the Present Moment. If you like the meditations that we offer at the Dr. Dolores Show in our shows, this one is about the same length, 5 to 6 minutes, and it's about getting you grounded in several dimensions so you could be right here, right now, in the moment. And truly, all that ever really, what's the most important thing is just being present right here, right now, in the moment. So sign up for the I'm Awake Now What series, or it's not a series, it's a monthly membership subscription, and we'd love to have you on board too. And lastly, if you know of anybody who would be a great guest for the Dr. Dolores Show, I'm going to start interviewing people more on our show. So I have guest spots available, and they need to reach out to me once again, Dolores at Dr. Dolores Fazzino, and let's talk some more. So circling back, just remember, we are on a journey. It's not a destination. You're going to have hurdles, bumps, lumps and bumps, and also merry-go-round rides, and also roller coaster rides too. This is just what life is all about. So just step into it with a lot of confidence, grace, and ease. Just remember, be kind to yourself. You are worth it.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, Remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.